Hey, it's Tara here. Today I am working on another altered library art card dilly dally. I did a video for this about a month or so ago. It was for a swap and I sent it out, but my partner didn't receive the original one, so I had to go ahead and redo it, which kind of made me really sad because I was really, really happy with the way the first one turned out. Of course, that's just how that stuff goes. Is when you're happy with something, the person never receives it, right? But yeah, to get started, I'm just going through all of my folders of collage materials and images and stuff and just figuring out what I want to use for it. And then whenever I am going through all of my images and supplies, I always have a few colors in mind that I want to work with. So I'm just looking out for that, and it just helps narrow everything down so I'm not pulling a whole bunch of stuff that I'm just not going to end up using. For this project, I'm going to be using just some blues and blacks. So that's my library card there. I'm pulling out the paint I want to use, which is the dark blue, light blue, teal, and black. Got some white tissue paper, some blue tissue paper, some stencils, and, just the usual. Figuring out what I can do with that. I got this stencil at a dollar store in Canada, so that was a really nice find. It's a pretty decent stencil. It's kind of flimsy, but I haven't had any issues with it. I've got a few different patterns or designs of the same variety from that same dollar store, and they're all pretty decent. And now I'm just going to be using my technique of stamping onto white tissue paper. So I'm using just a regular rubber stamp that has some diamond patterns, some blue ink and some black ink, and just to give it a little texture on the card itself with the tissue paper. And I'm just going to fiddle around with more tissue paper with that blue tissue paper, figuring out where I want to put all of these guys. And I'm going to adhere it with the Mod Podge. I think that's the blue label still. It's still the only wet glue that I have. Still intend to buy more, but I haven't. I always forget. I cut out those little hands, did a little scallop edge on them. Then I'm just going to use some more black ink to do a little more stamping on the card directly. And just kind of creating a background. I mean, really, majority of the stuff that I'm laying down right now is going to be covered up by other pieces of paper and the collage bits that I have for it. So just kind of filling in any white space that I don't like and adding texture here and there and some different colors, but in the end you're not really even going to see most of this stuff, so it's kind of useless, but it also kind of helps me out. I just really struggle if something is just plain. I don't know how to continue, so it's helpful for me to just kind of try and cover it up in the weirdest ways possible. But that's my technique. And I'm also pretty big on making sure the stuff I want stands out, so the little hands that I have there, I put on a darker background since it kind of just blended into the card. And then I had these like artist stamps that I wanted to use. I really like that cloud pattern, so I just kind of fiddle around with that and see where I can put it that would make the most sense. And then I'm cutting out or punching out a little scallop circle thingy dingy from this previous mixed media art masterboard thingy I created. And I turned most of that into postcards, but I have little pieces here and there that I can use for various projects. Now that I have everything kind of where I want it, I'm just going to add a few other little details. Washi tape in this case, just try to pack as much as I can in this little teeny tiny library card. I really do struggle with working on small spaces, I guess. I think anything smaller than 4x6 is just kind of mind-boggling to me because a lot of my images and stuff that I want to use are larger, so it's going to take up most of the space that I have to work with, and it's just kind of hard to just figure out what I want to use and what I can't use and work around that. And then on the back here, I'm going to use another dollar store stencil. This is a scalloped edge. I'm just going to do a little bit of stenciling. I'm writing the swap name and my name and the date and everything like that. On the back of that, just for my partner's reference, I guess this is kind of like a larger ATC, if you will. But I didn't really do much to decorate the back, but I did use my little label maker to add my name and everything like that. Give a little cute detail there. And then I'm going to decorate the pocket. So I decided to make the pocket front and back black and then add all of my details there. This is another dollar store stencil, so maybe I should call this the dollar store stencil challenge. Not really sure what's challenging about using a stencil besides it moving all over the place and messing everything up, but you know, I got my dollar's worth out of these stencils, that's for sure. So just the same situation here. I picked out a few images that I wanted to use on the pocket itself, and I fiddle with things an insane amount trying to figure out how I want everything to look. And just going to do some tissue paper stamping here too. So kind of my go-to is to, if I'm working with two different things but in the same project, kind of like if I make stationery and then I make an envelope, I always like to use the same style or technique and colors and stuff that I use in the other thing. So I got that tissue paper, I got some images, washi tape, same paint, and just kind of do it like that, so it's kind of cohesive in a way but still different. And another reason I like to use the same elements is just so I limit the scraps that I end up with. So I like to use the scraps from the first project I work on in the second one, and it's just a way for me to really get rid of everything and use everything up. I mean, besides like paint or ink or anything like that, but especially like scrap images and those sorts of collage bits that I use, I always end up with like little teeny pieces, and I have a really hard time throwing it away, and then I just end up with a lot of weird stuff and nothing really that I can work with. So it's just nice to be able to use everything up as much as I can and get that stuff out of my face and out of my brain. But yeah, this is the end result with a card in the pocket, and that's the front of the altered card there, and the back. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.